Hello and welcome to Sabras Radio. If you've just joined us now, I'm Pam Sidhu, and today I am joined by the new sensation, actress and singer Elnaaz Norouzi. How are you doing, Elnaaz?
I'm great. Thank you so much. So excited to speak to you.
We're very excited to speak to you too. Loving your new song. But
Thank you.
before we go into talking about that, I know you've been very busy. Now, for some of our audience, which may be listening to you for the very first time, tell us a little bit about your background. Where are you from?
Okay, I'm gonna try and keep it short. So I was originally Iranian. I was born in Tehran and we moved to Germany when I was very young. Not very young, actually. I was about 8 years old. So I grew up in Germany studying languages over there, and I always had this dream of becoming a Bollywood actress. So I thought to myself, it's gonna be easy. I'm just gonna pack my stuff and go to Mumbai and do it, which I did. Was much harder than I thought, but it kind of worked out. And then I started with Sacred Games, which really, really helped. I think since then, everybody just knows me as Zoya. People still call me Zoya on the road when they see me. And it's been really an iconic character because everybody remembers me from Sacred Games still. And I think Sacred Games is always going to be that project for me. And then along the way, I did multiple international projects, be it in Hollywood with Kandahar or Tehran on Apple TV Plus. And then I started singing. And yeah, I have English songs, I have Farsi and Hindi songs. So now here I am, a quick one.
Here you are indeed. Well, as you mentioned, then the character of Zoya in Sacred Games. Now, of course, we know you've done a lot of acting. You've done many different films as well. What is your favorite role to date?
Oh wow, that's really tough to say honestly because you kind of connect with all of the roles that you do and I love everything that I've done. But I think specifically because of that same reason, because it was so iconic and because it was my first project and it ended up becoming as big as it did. It's still the number one series ever made in India. So I would say my most favorite would still be Zoya. I really, really, really like my character in Made in Heaven. Zoya, ma'am, really tried to make sure that the character is very, very close to who I am myself. I played a bride in episode 4 in season 2 of Made in Heaven. So that character was very, very, very interesting for me as well. So I could say Zoya and Layla.
Yes, yes, the perfect combination. But I know you take your acting very seriously. You're always upping your skill set. I mean, you've even just recently trained in mixed martial arts as well to perform certain stunt-based scenes in
Yes,
Raniti.
and
Tell us
Raniti.
more
Yes,
about
that's
that. How
true.
was that? Was that like, was everything subject to the better? Was it, like very tense, or were you like, no, but this?
No, see, honestly, first of all, I love learning new skills and I love prepping well for whatever I do, especially if it's my acting. So, Raniti needed action and it needed me to be in action a lot. I had started doing mixed martial arts before that because I always wanted to do action, so I feel like I kind of attracted Raniti into my life. And then, yeah, which is why I could then do my own action scenes, do the own stunts. I didn't need a stunt double, which was great, which I always want to do. Like I always want to do my own things, my own stunts. So it turned out really well with that. The mixed martial arts training helped for sure.
And do you think you will use it again in the future?
Oh
In
yes, 100%. I want to do more action for
Yeah,
sure.
I can definitely see you in that role. Do you have coming up in terms of acting that we can expect from you in the near future?
Um, I can't really tell you the names because they're literally getting announced in a couple of days, and I
Oh,
can't say anything before that. But I can tell you that there is a Hollywood project coming, and there are two Bollywood projects coming. There are a lot of songs coming in the new year. So it's just, I think the new year is going to start and it's just going to be back-to-back releases, hopefully.
sounds like very exciting times. And I love that. I love the way that the landscape is changing for us as well, because now it's just matter of fact. It's like, yeah, I've got one foot in Bollywood, I've got one foot in Hollywood. We are ruling globally, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see you doing that, and having both there as well. But let's
Yeah.
talk singing. How did your singing journey start? You mentioned that when you were little, you always wanted to be a Bollywood actress, but
Yeah.
where did the singing come in for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. I always say that acting is something I chose, but singing chose me, kind of. I mean, I always enjoyed singing by myself, and I because I never from childhood I never really thought I could do it professionally. I never went after it. But throughout the years, everybody would just keep telling me, "Hey, why don't you sing? You can sing. Your voice is good. You should sing." And I'd always be like, "Hey, I'm an actor. I'm not gonna just like get out one day and be like, hey, I'm gonna sing as well." And then COVID happened, and during COVID, I was stuck in Germany, and I met this music manager who also kept telling me you should do music. And then I was just like, okay, everything is shut. I'm not able to do anything anyway. So I started taking vocal training, and I started going to the studio with them. And it so happened that I also recorded my first song, and my first song, La La Love, which released 2 years back. And yeah, I've been training. I've been doing vocal training since then. I've been really enjoying writing and composing the songs as well.
Oh,
I just worked on my EP in LA this May, and hopefully in the new year we're gonna have that release as well. It's an English EP. In between, like right now, my song Hawar Hawar, it's Farsi and Hindi, which has its own story. Or when I sang Jamal Jamalu last year, which also became a big hit.
we love that song. Do it regularly here on Sabras Radio. So you just heard Elnaaz telling us there that she sung Jamal Jamal from Animal. Absolutely incredible. Thank you for that.
I have my own version for that. Yeah, it's just been a great journey, honestly. It's been a lot, I feel like, since I've started singing. There's been a lot of juggling between the acting and between the singing as well. But I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having fun. I don't feel like, oh my God, no, the singing is taking away from my acting, or the acting is taking away from my singing. I feel like I can do both because I
Yeah.
love both.
Yeah. Well, it's great that you're bringing the two worlds together. And it was very interesting to hear you say that, in COVID, this positive thing actually did happen because, of course, there was a lot of negativity there, everything shut down. But I love the fact that when I speak to artists like yourself and they say, well, you know what, this inspiration hit in
Yeah.
COVID and something new came out of that, it goes to show you that every cloud does have a silver lining and there was something
Yes.
for you. Um,
100%. You just gotta like work with what you have. Either you sit there and cry and you're like, oh my God, my time is getting wasted, life is going by, I'm not able to work, which none of us were able to work, or you just try and find new ways to make other things work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's true alchemy, isn't it? It's like, how can you turn something negative into something positive? And you used your time accordingly. So thank you,
Yeah.
for taking those lessons, for listening, because we all have this inner voice, but not everybody listens. And it sounds like, you know what, you had enough quiet time to go, yeah, hang on, I'm gonna do. But the song that you have just released, let's talk a little bit more about that. Hawar Hawar. Now, I've grown up listening to this song in terms of Bollywood versions. The version that I heard as a child, used to play in the house and we'd be dancing away to it was from I think
Yeah.
1994, from Insaf Apne Lahu Se. It was a film then. But of course, this song goes back further than that. Tell us about the roots of this song and what it means to you.
So, Hawar Hawar is originally a Farsi song. It was sung by Kurosh Yagmai in the 1970s. And every Iranian, every Farsi speaking person knows that song. And what happened then is that Hassan Jahangir, who is a Pakistani singer, then took Hawar Hawar and made it into Hava Hava. And since it became really big in Pakistan and in India with that song, everybody thought, oh, that's where it comes from,
Yeah,
right? And then there were multiple versions made. Even the Farsi version has multiple versions of it, of big, big singers, big Iranian singers, and then multiple versions of it in Bollywood movies. So this song has been like heard by the whole world, I feel like. And what I wanted to do with it is, first of all, bring this information to everybody. I like to have information. I like to when I learn something, I like to know everything from the bottom of it. So I just felt like I need to tell the world this song has originally been a Farsi song.
Yes.
But I also kind of wanted to bring the two cultures together of Iran and India, you know? So, which is why I decided to do it in Farsi and in Hindi. Yeah, and I've just always been talking about it. And the Farsi lyrics that I used are the original lyrics that Kurosh Yagmai had written. So
Right.
I wanted to stay true to that one. The Hindi lyrics are obviously new lyrics that we wrote, and kind of wanted to match it to who I am, how I am. And yeah, that's how I created the song. And I kind of love the beat. I wanted the beat also to be more dancey, more club. People, Persian people, will definitely be able to totally dance to this in the parties. But also, I used a lot of, I don't know if you hear the instruments, or a lot of Indian beats and instruments in there, which again, I just wanted to mix these two and bring these two cultures together because they are me, right? I'm Iranian, but दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, तो ये दोनों साथ में हवर हवर हो गए.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Is there has been so many similarities previously when we look through history of the two cultures, Persian and Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi. I say that generally because of course, there was a time when it was all one. And when we look at our language, there's so many similar root words. So I love the way that you've done a fusion of this song, bringing in the Persian original Farsi, as you mentioned,
Yes,
and then the new Hindi with the Indian beats. What's your
yes.
favorite part in the song?
That's really tough to say, honestly.
I know. I
I
suppose
mean,
asking which is your favorite part of your baby, right? I
yeah.
possible question, but if you had to, like, maybe refer to a certain line in the song or a certain part of the music, which bit touches your heart the most?
Well, I mean, I don't know which one touches my heart the most, but there is an interesting part of the song where when I was producing this song with DJ Al, who's the biggest Persian DJ that we have worldwide. He's a Las Vegas resident. He is amazing. He's really big. And he's done two other songs for me. This is the third collaboration of us. When we were making Hawar Hawar, it took us a while because I felt like constantly, I'm like, there is something missing, you know? For Jamal Jamalu, I really wanted to bring the clap in, you know? I like engaging my audience. So with Jamal Jamalu, I was like, I want the clap, da da da, you know, and Jamal Jamalu, which happens constantly. And you can see it now. People, when they hear the song, they know when to clap.
Mhm.
And we had the same thing with Hawar Hawar. I was like, how can I get my audience engaged? And it took us a couple of weeks to find out, you know, whatever we tried, you know, jamming and trying to make the beat, composing it. One day I heard something somewhere and I was like, I know what I want there, you know? And I realized when you hear the song, there's this part where it says, hey, hey, you know? When you play it now, you'll hear it.
Yeah,
Hey, hey was very important to me. And then we put it in there and it kind of worked. And I was like, that's in this song, this is the part where I want my audience engaged. You know,
yeah,
I want them to, if they speak Farsi, they can sing along in Farsi. If they speak Hindi, they can sing along in Hindi. And if they don't understand either, at least on the part where it says, hey, hey, you know, everybody can sing along, right? So maybe that's one thing that I would remember. It's a good
yeah,
question, actually. Interesting
yeah.
question.
Well, it's an interesting answer, and I will be listening out for those hey hey nows. I know that that's what we're going to be doing every time we hear it. But
Yes.
phenomenal success. It's a great dance number, as you just said, and you have just been wowing audiences recently at the closing ceremony of the T10 closing ceremony in Abu Dhabi. You performed
Yes. Yes,
the
yes.
live.
I performed it for the first time, Hawar Hawar, since its release. I performed it for the first time at the cricket stadium in Abu Dhabi. It's got a capacity of 20,000 people. I don't know. I think there were really 20,000 people because when I saw even on the grass outside, people were sitting and watching, the ones who had not paid for the seats. So there were a lot of people. I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my God, there are too many people. I'm not going to be able to perform this. But I did, and it went really well, and it was awesome. Like hearing the people cheer when they hear the song, and that recall value that it has. That's exactly what I've been looking for.
Were they doing the hey hey?
They were not doing the hey hey because the hey hey is new in my song. So now that they know it, I'm sure they're gonna do it.
Fun. We're gonna be seeing that everywhere now.
Yes. What? So you gotta help me play it a lot so people get used to it, and then everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, hey," constantly.
Right. Well, you heard that. You heard what Elnaaz is saying now. I'm talking to the listeners right now or the viewers right now. We need to be playing this song and we need to be doing the hey hey. And
Yeah.
there's a story behind it as well. But Elnaaz, I'm not going to keep you too long, but I would like to know. So, you said that Hawar Hawar is the Persian, the name for the song, and then it got changed to Hawar Hawar. Is the meaning the same?
No, that's very interesting. Again, that's something very interesting I always wanted to talk about, but nobody ever asked me this question.
Ah,
Havar Havar does not mean hava,
right.
but I guess he really liked it and he kind of wanted to keep that, right?
Yeah.
Havar Havar means screaming out loud. Like when you're like really, you're like, oh my God, like hail, screaming out loud, my love is coming, my beloved is coming, right? That's what he's saying. And hava hava means hava, right? Like air, hava.
Yeah.
So,
Agree.
no, it's not the same at all.
Ah, that's wonderful. Well, do you know what? I'm going to be listening to it differently now.
Yeah.
Um, as because I just assumed it was that, and it just occurred to me then. I thought, let me just check because, of course, I don't have that understanding of the Persian language. So thank you for that. Now
Thank you for your great questions. I like that.
you mentioned you have a lot of new projects that you're working on next year. You can't give too much away right now. We understand that, and you've got new music coming as well. Is there anything that you can give away when it comes to what's on the horizon in terms of musically?
Well, I have one very, very big collaboration coming, which is in Hindi with an Indian singer who everybody knows.
Oh,
Again, it's
then I was there at the edge of my seat thinking she's going to tell me the name. Can you give
It's
us a?
not announced yet. We're announcing it very soon, so I don't want to give it away. I'm so sorry. I know it's terrible, but it's a big project. It's a good one. I love it. It's one of my most favorite songs that is going to come out soon. And you can look out for it because you know the artist. I'm a
Oh,
1000% sure you know the artist.
well, we'll look out for it, and it's good. It's good you're keeping us in suspense. But Elnaz, I do hope that you do come back on and talk to us here at Sabras Radio when that is released.
Yes.
We love to follow your journey, and we wish you the very best with all your acting projects as well that you've got coming up next year. And I hope you continue to have fun while you're on this journey.
Always. Thank you so much.
What would you any messages to your listeners, to your fans over here in the UK?
I mean, I've shot in the UK a lot for multiple films. So, I've always enjoyed the UK. I love the Indians, the Pakistanis, the everybody in the UK who is Urdu and Hindi speaking. They always come up to me when I'm there and they start talking to me and they're like, "Oh, we know you from Sacred Games or from this and from that." And it's so exciting because you always expect to be known over here, but then when you see people in the UK coming up to you and actually giving you all that love, it gets very exciting for me, especially because I'm not a person who's from the Bollywood industry. I'm an outsider and I came here and I kind of made my own space and try to push myself in as much as I can. So the love that I get from the fans is very, very special for me. It's very needed and it's very special. So whoever supports me on this journey, if you're listening to my music, if you're watching my movies and series, thank you for that. I really appreciate you. And thank you to Sabras Radio as well.